Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. I don't know about y'all, but I love that stream intro showing the office, the music. I was just sitting here waiting, just kind of vibing with it. But happy Tuesday, everybody. It is about 9:30 a.m. Eastern time over here on the East Coast of the U.S., and Fed Chair Jerome Powell is speaking. And there is a little excerpt here that I wanted to read really quickly from the Federal Reserve's website, talking about what Chair Powell had to say. This is actually what he had to say in his speech. I'm going to read these first two paragraphs really quickly. It's a little bit long, so I don't have time to read the entire thing, but I wanted to give you guys a brief little snippet of it. So he starts off up here. He says, I will address three main points. First, the Federal Reserve's monetary policy independence is an important and broadly supported institutional arrangement, that has served the American public well. Second, the Fed must continuously earn that independence by using our tools to achieve our assigned goals of maximum employment and price stability, and by providing transparency to facilitate understanding and effective oversight by the public and their elected representatives in Congress. Third, we should stick to our knitting by not wandering off to pursue perceived social benefits that are not tightly linked to our statutory goals and authorities. I just realized I don't have my lights on, guys. Let me do that so that you can maybe see me better. All right, and moving right along, that second paragraph is also what I want to read really quickly. Central bank independence and transparency. On the first point, the case for monetary policy independence lies in the benefits of insulating monetary policy decisions for short-term political considerations. Price stability is the bedrock of a healthy economy and provides the public with immeasurable benefits over time. But restoring price stability when inflation is high can require measures that are not popular in the short term, as we raise interest rates to slow the economy. The absence of direct political control over our decisions allows us to take these necessary measures when considering short-term political factors. I believe that the benefits of independent monetary policy in the U.S. context are well understood and broadly accepted. So he talks about raising interest rates in the short term for the overall long-term health of the U.S. economy and price stability. So could we potentially see interest rates raised? We could see that potentially. That was I found that here on Forex Factory. If you guys don't know, Forex Factory is a super useful website with all news events about different currencies. So go check that out if you want to read the full article. I highly recommend it. I'm going to do this super quickly because I took a little bit of time doing that. We're going to check out the market heat map really quick, just so that we can see how some of our assets are trending so far today. Looks like major U.S. pairs are up mostly on the day. USDJPY, USDCHF, Euro USD, and NZD USD are all in the positive, but not by a whole lot. NZD USD, the biggest mover to the upside so far, but only up 0.14% on the day. Aussie US and GBP USD are down about the same, down 0.22% right there. Major indices, U.S. indices not doing very good today. US 30 down, S&P 500 down, NASDAQ 100 down on the day so far. Or excuse me, NASDAQ is up, S&P is down, US 30 is down. JP225 is up 0.78%. That's our biggest mover to the upside so far when it comes to our major indices. Let's check out oil. Oil right here up 0.63% on the day so far. And how about gold up 0.11% on the day so far? So not a ton of movement going on yet. Euro pairs, looks like our euro pairs are mostly up on the day. Pound pairs are mostly down on the day so far. Yen pairs a little bit split. NZDJPY up 0.24%. So most of our yen pairs are up, but still, again, kind of split. Same with our Swiss franc pairs right here. NZDCHF up 0.22% on the day. Lastly, Australian dollar pairs mostly shooting to the downside. Aussie NZD down 0.29%, and New Zealand dollar pairs mostly moving to the upside, but NZD or GBP NZD and Aussie NZD are shooting to the downside so far today. GBP NZD down 0.3%. All right, that's going to be it for me. We are going to watch this quick little intro, and then we are going to go live into the markets with Nick. Here we go.
Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. Thank you, James, for the morning and alerts. That was actually very helpful. Just getting a little bit of a rundown on the Fed this morning. And, sometimes people get a little bit like, why do we have to pay attention to fundamentals? Well, this move that you're seeing here this morning is exactly why. Look at what we just saw in reaction to what James just shared with us. We saw a poke to the upside here and retesting the highs on the gold market, as well as the S&P 500 making a bit of a recovery move. And look at this, you guys. I want to show you this here before it all turns sour on me. Look at this. We barely survived here. I should say that. Shouldn't say that. We're in profit on the S&P 500. You can see here's my trade that I took. My initial entry was back down at the lows here of this range. We broke out, we retested, and look at this, you guys. We barely stayed into the trade here. And when I say that, man, it was close, right? We came very, very close to getting tagged out for a profit. It would have been a profitable trade. I would have been happy to take my stop had it been hit. But just like that, support held beautifully for the S&P 500 trade, and gold still running hot for us. We're currently floating $170 in profit on a relatively small position, so not bad at all. Gold profit still running and stop loss in place on that one, so we will definitely take that. There's your morning update in terms of positions that I am in. Let me know, guys, in the chat, what are you trading here this morning? What trades do you have open? I'd love to see in the comments section what you're looking at. I see that Amy is in the chat. Hi, Amy. How are you doing? I'm glad that you're here with us. And hello to everybody else in the chat as well. Hope you guys are all doing well. Longed indices. Omar, nice. Bought US 30 and going to the moon. Very nice. Prashant, if you're in that US 30 move, man, you're probably having a nice start to your day here. You can see here's your hourly chart bouncing clean off of support. If you guys are watching US 30, you can actually see where we nailed support here. And with Jerome Powell's speech, we saw, of course, a nice rally off of the lows there. Jerome Powell seems to be having a little bit of an inverse effect these days. For a long time, it was like every time the guy would speak, the market would drop. And now it seems like these moves are more favorable to the upside as of recent. So, of course, interesting to watch. I bought, Vika says he bought GU at 1.2111. How is GBP USD here this morning? So pound making a move off the lows there. Very nice. You can see a big push. And I don't even think this got to the 38.2. I think we didn't even pull back that far before buyers got a hold of it. So a lot of strength coming in for the pound USD and breaking clean through resistance here. You can see there is our level of resistance now turned potential support. We didn't even quite get there. I mean, I guess if you expand this out, we did tag the lows of this previous consolidation. And I guess to the credit of the bulls here, pound USD looking pretty strong in this this New York session as we get going. Let's see, what else are you guys doing? Shorted GJ. I went long AUDJPY. Gold up $1,500. Nice, Dev. Congratulations on that. We will be discussing gold in more detail pretty soon, as I am currently long myself. So I have a little bit of a self-serving bias. I would like to take a look at some gold together. Yeah. So let's see, what can we look at? NZD CAD 50% fib. What's NZD CAD doing? NZD CAD. You must be trading it off of, talking about this guy right here. Look at that. I see you, Christian. Very nice move there. Beautiful. Pull back that 50%. Tagged it. And is this an edge finder trade? Christian, is this an edge finder trade? Did I spot you? Let's see. NZD CAD. Yep. Bullish bias. 50% retracement plus support. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is an edge finder based trade. Christian says yes. Hey, now that's cool, man. That's the Christian. Congratulations on your trade. That's really cool. Yes, I've got the edge finder. The edge finder, the cool thing about the edge finder is a lot of people end up spotting similar setups, which I absolutely love, right? The whole point of the Edge Finder is to bring in a bunch of data, give you a more informed decision, and then you make the decision to actually take trades and such. But Christian caught a 50% retracement using price action, I'm imagining, right? Because you said you used the 50% retracement. So we got this retracement level from swing low to swing high. You've also got support in this area, and you have Edge Finder bias to the upside. Absolutely beautiful trade there. And congrats, Christian. That's awesome. So NZD CAD getting a bullish reading. Let's take a quick look at that and see. Let's Christian, we're going to put you on the spot here, and we're going to take a look at your NZD CAD trade, because I'm a bit jealous myself. I won't lie. NZD CAD. Vicus says Edge Finder rocks. Thank you, Vicus. I appreciate you. Oh, look at this, man. 89% of retail traders are short NZD CAD. Then you've got Christian out here swinging long. So congratulations on that. And I want to show you this COT data gets a +2. And this is a powerful one, because COT data, all we're doing with COT data is we are studying what institutional traders are doing. What are they buying? What are they selling? What's the smart money buying? What's the smart money selling? And what we can see here is that it's very clear in this little category right here. This is where we're going to pay attention to. This is going to tell us what they're buying, what they're selling. NZD CAD. NZD, they're very long. CAD, they're very short. What does this give us? It gives us a bias to short CAD by NZD, according to the Edge Finder, right? It doesn't tell us to do that. It just shares that information with us, right? The Edge Finder, the people who use the Edge Finder, and you guys in the chat, you will probably relate to this. The Edge Finder doesn't do all the work for you. We're not here creating, traders who don't know what they're doing and just copying things. The Edge Finder is a tool that sheds light on a particular asset. So Christian went long NZD CAD. I'm assuming, Christian, that what you did is you looked at the data here from the Edge Finder, and then, based on what you saw here, you went to the chart, you looked for a technical setup that you liked, and then you actually were able to execute. So, Christian, let me know in the chat if that is correct, but I'm assuming that's how you caught this trade, which is fantastic. Is it a monthly fee? No, it's a one-time fee. You can buy it once, or if you think the price is too high, you can actually do it in monthly installments. Some people do that instead of just paying it all at once. You can actually set up a monthly plan if you would like to just pay it off over time. And if you don't have the Edge Finder and you would like to do that, if you have interest in that, you can try it out for free. First of all, click this link. It'll take you to a trial sign up. But if you'd like to just go ahead and get your access, if you're serious about it and you just want to get the tool yourself, what you can do is you can just go to the link in our description, punch that promo code there that's in the description, and you'll get access to it for a discount. It's actually 20% off right now. So usually it is $800 one time, or you can do monthly payments. But if you do it with the discount code, it's going to knock off 20% of that price. We're doing a New Year's sale right now. So grab it if you want it. It's an awesome product. We've invested a lot of time and money in it. So it is quite worth the money, I would say. It's been an awesome tool, just for everyday trading. So I want to actually go to the Edge Finder here, and we're going to go look at the strong buys, strong sells, and buys and sells and see what we've got. So CHF JPY, this is a trade setup that we talked about yesterday. And look at that, NZD CAD continues to fly higher. Swiss yen, let's see, where are we at with this one? So Swiss yen, what we've talked about is this one gets a bias to the upside from the Edge Finder. The problem is, though, that we're kind of choppy, right? We haven't been able to clean break through levels of resistance. What I mentioned is that, like, if I was to get long, what I need to see on a technical analysis perspective, Edge Finder is saying, hey, this looks potentially bullish. What I'd like to see is a clean break, pullbacks, and then looking for the opportunity to get long. So yes, I have a bullish bias, but I'm waiting for the technicals to line up, if that makes sense. If the price is high to you, I understand. You don't have to get it. I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not trying to complain, but we've spent, tremendous amounts of money building it. So it helps cover our costs. We invest almost everything that we make on the Edge Finder. We are throwing back into developing it further. It has a lot of costs associated with building it. So it does have a cost associated to it. So it's not free, unfortunately. If it is something that you want, if you're serious about it, you can also do payment plans as a backup option, which you can find out more information on our website. Just go to a1trading.com. You can live chat with us on there, whatever works for you. So yeah, I do like it to the upside, like I said, Swiss yen, but it's gotta be on the break and retest opportunity, right? So still watching that one. German 30, this is interesting. German 30 has been on the watch list and we haven't even looked at it. So let's go look at German 30. So the DAX is flying and this is actually doing better than, is it outperforming the S&P? So since December 30th, it's up like 6-7%. December 30th, let's call it here. Wow. The DAX is really doing quite well. Look at this, S&P 500 since around December 30th, around 2.5-3% up. But then you've got German 30, which is flying here. German 30 looking incredibly strong for possible buys. Here's your 1 hour chart. I'd be interested in pullback plays on this one. If it does give us an opportunity to be long here, I don't hate it. In fact, I don't even know if I can trade this on Webull, to be completely honest with you, but I would be interested. If the DAX pulls back 38.2, 14,650, I think it might actually be a trade setup. And again, this is confirmation from the Edge Finder, as well as I love the technicals here. You've got a really strong chart, and this is what I love to be buying. I love to be buying markets that are trending super strong to the upside, right? And selling things that are trending super strong to the downside. It sounds really obvious, and that is because it is very obvious. Like trends can be awesome, right? Riding a good trend is, there's nothing else quite like it. Nick, does the Edge Finder data get updated in real time with news or every couple hours? Little Hamburger, thank you for asking this question. We actually just added an update log. So this is your data. This is a little bit of a back end view. And I believe we're still working on this page, but this is actually going to give you information as to how often data on the Edge Finder updates. And again, if you don't have a free trial, grab a free trial. You can play around with all this stuff without paying for it. We'll give you access. You can play around with it. One of our team members will work with you on it. Just click this link, fill that out, get a free trial. We'll need your contact information. One of our team members will reach out to you to let you try it out. So fill that out, take advantage of it. And you can go look at the update log on your own time to see all those questions. But the answer is most things update either hourly, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It's very frequent. So there are some things that are daily, like economic news. We only update daily. That's not super urgent sometimes or most days. So that's kind of that. Where I tend to spend most of my time is on the watch list page. So if I look here, it's like GJ, for example, GBP/JPY on the sell side. It's got a bias here for us. I don't love this chart, to be honest, off the 1 hour chart. Yeah, see, I don't love this. What I would like to see to actually get bearish would be once the technicals start telling me, okay, hey, this might actually be bearish, right? I'd need to see this thing. And it looks like it's trying, right? But I'd want to see, for me to actually get bearish on something like this, I'd want to see support break. And we have support right around 160. So for sells, what I would want to see on GJ, for those of you who are watching pound yen, we do have a sell bias from the Edge Finder, but what I'd like is to see a break of support, right? So when I like to buy something, I don't care to be the first one to buy it. I don't care to be the first one to sell something. I care to be with the flow of traffic. And what I mean by that is like, okay, we have a flow of traffic to the upside. I don't want to be caught buying this thing, right? I want to be looking for sells only if we do something like this, right? If we start seeing structure form to the downside, like I said, I don't care to be the first one to sell. I don't care about that. I care about catching the bulk of the move by being someone who joins a proper trend. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. If I was to trade this reversal to the upside, and again, I'm of course speaking in hindsight and showing you when it works perfectly, but you guys hopefully get the idea of what I'm saying. I don't care to be trying to buy it here or buying it here. And sure, if you get lucky, you might buy it here just before it runs. But oftentimes you're going to get this entry where you're getting smacked as the market continues to go lower. What I care for instead is I care for something to show me a healthy move, right? And then let's say I caught it here and look to get long. Sure, I didn't catch the bottom, but at least I didn't try and buy the whole way down and beg the market to reverse, right? I just waited for a big, strong move and pullback plays. Now that I don't do that by itself. What I also do is I combine that with bias from the edge finder. That's like really important to me. I'm not going to take a trade. 90% of my trades are right in line with the edge finder. The 10% are just occasionally small technical moves that I'm just really interested in taking. But for the most part, I'm trading with the edge finder as part of my bias. Let's now move to gold here. We've got 400 people in the chat, by the way. If you're enjoying my stream here today, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button real quick. Can we run the like button? And maybe if we spam the like button hard enough, maybe Chandler will show up and remind you guys to hit the like button. It's always an honor if we get Chandler in the building. You guys love that guy. I don't know. You guys are like obsessed with Chandler. If we get some Chandler chants in the chat, maybe he'll show up. What are the odds? If we get some people saying Chandler join, Chandler jump on, he might be able to peer pressure him. He doesn't have to, but it would be hilarious. Oh, look at this. He says, maybe. You guys got to beg him. You got to get him in here. Look at this. The S&P 500 trying to hold this support level. And this is where I'm at with it. I'm currently long from down here. And my thought process with this is if we break the lows today, guys, I'm going to be out of this trade. So if we break the lows, I'm taking profit. If we continue, then I'll look to trail stops further. And those of you guys who are inside of the VIP Discord, I've been taking that trade. So let me see if I can, I'll show you this. So this is a signal within the group. I'll show you this. Okay. You guys are chanting for Chandler. That's awesome. He might show up pretty soon. Yeah. So there we go. I'm still in this update. There's your update on the S&P 500 trade. Still in it, looking at trail stops. For those of you in the Discord, pay attention to the trade alert section, and any updates that I make will show up there. Again, looking for this level to hold before making any further developments. And the link for the Discord, we'll drop it in the chat. And then also, if you want access to VIP, that is in the description if you want to sign up. So join us. All right. Are we going to have Chandler join us? Are you guys going to succeed in your summoning of the... Oh, you did it. There he is.
Hello, everybody. I heard there's a need for likes, so I'm here to ask once more. Please like the stream.
You guys heard Chandler. Let's get some likes spammed on the stream. You guys would make our day.
Look, I have a little animation and everything. Just
yep. Oh, see, he's doing the most. He's doing a great job. Help him out. Hit the like button on the stream, and there you go. He won't get mad at us. So yeah. Thank you, Chandler, for coming on. And you guys got your way. You were gifted with Chandler's presence. So he does exist. He is a real person, and he's not just he doesn't just live in the box of YouTube. He is real. Let's keep going. I want to look at some other charts. How about euro dollar here today? Euro dollar, look at this, breaking through the highs. And I actually saw somebody tweeting about the fact that the euro dollar actually just put in some fresh highs, 7-month highs, I believe is what it was. But yeah, it is flying here today. I tried to take a short on this, got absolutely stomped. Fortunately, though, I cut my loss pretty quick, and thank goodness I did, because this thing has just continued to run higher. Same levels of what was resistance have now actually turned into potential support. And going into today's price action with all that volatility from Jerome Powell, we'll see if we can get some follow through. For the day traders out there, we can actually narrow in on this one. 15-minute chart even, and talk about this kind of concept. So we have a strong uptrend, right? The breakout traders, 15-minute chart guys, girls, we have potentially some interest here. If we can clean break through the highs, you might get something there. And again, 4-hour daily chart looks really strong. The idea would be breaks, retests, continuation plays. If we can like fill this candle, like fill that wick that we just made, look at this long wick on the bottom, euro dollar looking strong, but again, not quite interested until we can actually get a break above. And I'd be curious to see if gold looks similar. We'll go back to gold here for a second, which I am currently long already on. The gold idea would be similar, probably just above the previous high. If we can break through this, right, you might get a run, which would be fantastic if we could see that follow through. Is the S&P 500 moving along with these things still, or have we lost it? Nope, it's moving with it. Look at that. That's an aggressive up candles here, following Jerome Powell's speech. Whatever he said, people must have liked it on the stock market side of things. Nick, do you ever use supply and demand style trading, or does it? I pretty much, I mean, I use support and resistance, supply and demand pretty interchangeably. But yeah, just market structure, price action. That's predominantly what I trade. That is the technical side. But, you know, I say this on the stream sometimes. Technical analysis, guys, it really truly plays about 30 to 40% of a trade analysis for me. Like, I think, and don't hate me for saying this, I have to be very careful how I say this because, you know, the YouTube community loves their technical analysis. I think technical analysis is actually pretty overrated. Of course, I use it. So I'm not saying it's worthless. I'm not saying I don't use it. I'm saying that I think technical analysis is probably the most overrated thing in trading. People like use it like it's a holy grail secret weapon to tell you what the market's going to do next. And yes, it can be valuable for clues, but it doesn't tell you with absolute precision exactly what the market's going to do all the time. Because think about it, if it could, people would be out here flipping their accounts every day, and people don't do that. Nobody does it, right? And if they say they do, ask them for a MyFX book and they'll come up with a creative excuse why they can't do that, right? So technical analysis, I think, is one of the most overrated things. And I think one of the most underrated things in Forex trading is fundamentals, which is, again, exactly why we've been working on our tools so heavily, is because we're actually able to pull in economic data and get a bias that's not just based on, hey, the chart's going up, let me buy, right? That's helpful. That's one part of it. But using fundamentals is very, very important. At least to our trading. And if you're part of the crew here on YouTube, then I'm sure that you're very familiar. We pay attention to things like GDP, inflation, unemployment, interest rates. We're like sizing up. It's like when you're trying to bet on a sports game or something, right? Like, you want to evaluate all the components of each team before making a decision on who you think is going to win, right? The economic numbers, you can't just completely ignore them if you're going to really take a look at the euro, right? If you're looking at the euro against the pound, let's do an example. Euro against the pound right now. So euro GBP. Right now, the edge finder is favoring the euro, right? And in a second, we'll have Jake joining us, which is going to be awesome. And Jake is also a user of the edge finder, so you guys can get some analysis with him as well. Euro GBP, if we cross these two together, all we're doing is we're evaluating, think of it as two sports teams, the euro and the pound. Which one is the more favorable team or asset to consider? And if we go down the list really quick, COT data, right? The commitment of traders data is telling us that the pound is pretty shorted by smart money. The euro is pretty long by smart money, giving us a bias to be short euro, long euro. I'm sorry, short pound, long euro. I said that wrong. That's why we get a +1 in that category, contributing towards a bullish bias. Retail sentiment. What is the crowd doing? The crowd right now, guys, is shorting euro GBP heavily, 78% short. Seasonality. This one goes against us. The month of January tends to be a negative month for this currency pair. Trend reading, positive, goes in our favor. Uptrend for the euro pound. GDP numbers and inflation numbers favor Europe, whereas unemployment and interest rate numbers favor the pound. So overall, when we net all of those scores together, that's what's going to give us this +3 by bias. So that's where the edge finder's at. Now, if we go look at the chart really quick, euro GBP, we pull this one up. Question is, and you can see some analysis that I've done, I'm still waiting on this thing to do. Pretty much we could just go exactly like what we had over here and just continue the idea. Euro GBP, I've got the edge finder bias, right? but now I'm waiting for the technicals to actually set up. We're in a nice uptrend, but we've entered into consolidation. So if we're able to break through that consolidation to the highs, a pullback play could actually be one that I'm interested in. So do me a favor, if that made sense to you guys, type yes in the chat. How we just used fundamentals, sentiment analysis, and technical analysis, combining all three to get that synergy effect for trading. Like that's kind of what we talk about over and over on the channel, as well as I know Jake is very similar in that regards. In fact, we could bring in Jake if you want to just have him join us. Jake, if you're ready. Hey, Jake, how are you?
What's going on, Nick?
Not a lot, man. Hey, so you were in the backstage. Did you hear a little bit of what I was just talking about?
Yes, I've been listening to most of the stream so far.
Cool, awesome. Then you're a real one, Jake. I appreciate it. Jake, question for you. So what I just explained, like with the edge finder, with combining the different factors, the synergy effect, is that something that you also use in your trading? Do you use all three like that? Do you use technical, sentiment, and fundamentals as well? I know you use it, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, 100%. I'd say for the majority of my trading career so far, I've definitely been majority technical. But definitely when I started watching some of your content and then I found the edge finder, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can improve my strategy with more confluences. And I'm a big confluence guy. I love when there's confluences in my trade. It just gives me more confidence that I am in the right direction. I'm on the right side of things. So when I see that the edge finder is in my favor, when I see that the sentiment is in my favor, and when I see the technicals are in my favor, that's a lot of confluences for me to enter the trade. So that's why I look at all those things.
Jake, I remember when I was I guess this was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, before I ever really started diving into anything other than technicals, like yourself. Like I was only looking at chart patterns, only looking at, trends, and not to say that those things are useless, because they're not. They're actually quite useful, but it's kind of like only looking at something from one point of view. If you understand a debate or conversation from all points of view, you're going to be more adequately equipped to take on that conversation, that challenge, whatever, right? Very similar to the edge finder and to just trading in general. People will bash one or the other. People say, oh, technicals are useless or fundamentals are useless, but why not use all of them, since they're all real things that do contribute to what the charts are doing and what they're telling us. So definitely with you on that. People have heard a lot from me today, Jake. If you want to share your screen, we'll switch you over. What are you looking at today?
Well, I am in a position right now. I am in this CAD CHF position. It's been a bit of a hairy one for me, but this is an edge finder based trade as well. Almost got stopped out. I got saved by like 2.1 pips here.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
Still in the trade, so every once in a while you have those that go in your favor. But it was the same thing we're just talking about with the edge finder confluence. I see that CAD CHF has a -4 overall rating. When we look at the smart money tracker, we can see that CAD CHF is currently being long to 95% by retail. So I really like that aspect as well. And I'm pretty sure the COT data does favor CAD CHF to the downside as well. That was like kind of my fundamental and sentiment analysis on CAD CHF for entering. The second thing was sort of that we moved up into this higher time frame area. We rejected, I believe on the 4 hour, this was like a super long rejection wick. We broke this little uptrend that we had. We got the retest. I shorted it off the 50% and didn't exactly go my way at first, but it seems like we're doing okay just now. So we'll see how this one plays out. So that's kind of the main thing that I'm looking at. And I have a few thoughts on the dollar, which I'm sure I'll share as the stream continues.
Yeah, no, and I like the way you put that, just with the CAD Swiss. Like, even I don't, a lot of times new traders, they assume that people with more experience, people that have been doing this for a while, they don't have trades that do that to them. And as I've done this, the longer I've done this, I realize that this happens to absolutely everybody, where you take a trade and it will go all the way to test your stop loss, wherever you put it, right? It just happens. I mean, that even happened to me recently. I was, let me show you my S&P 500 trade, and I still could technically get stopped out of this. But if I show you SPY here and I pull this one up, you can see right there, it came just narrowly within hitting my stop loss.
Yeah.
So, people think that they suddenly become, this doesn't happen to them when they become professional. The only difference is you risk smaller, you manage trades better, and you accept that this is going to happen to everybody. It's just how do you handle it? How do you position size? All that good stuff.
To be honest, I thought this was done for sure. I saw it was literally New York session opened and we were down here. We were at my entry, and then I checked back on 5-10 minutes later, and I was like, oh man, this is getting stopped out. And every once in a while the market, is on your side. So we'll see how this one goes. Still right here at break even. So, but yeah, I think most traders expect that once they figure it out, that all of a sudden it's like, they got the magic recipe and they're never going to have any struggles again. And that's just not the case, right? No matter how good your entry is, no matter how good your strategy is, there's going to be trades that don't go your way. And there's going to be trades that, there's going to be times where you get stopped out by 1 pip and then it goes exactly where you thought it was going to go. So all you can do is make the optimizations.
Absolutely. And it's just, you get better at dealing with this stuff as you go along. And that's for sure. On this stream, Jake, we've talked a lot about overrated and underrated things. We were talking a little about like technical analysis versus fundamental analysis and sentiment analysis, which things are, in my opinion, overrated and underrated. One thing that I can tell you absolutely guaranteed is underrated on YouTube is Trader Jake. And we're going to drop a link in the chat to go find Jake on YouTube. If you guys aren't following him, hey, what are you doing? Go follow Jake on YouTube. I'm going to back out of the stream. We're going to let Jake talk for a little bit as I have a tendency to hog the mic. So Jake, take the stream from here, enjoy it. And I hope that lots of people go subscribe to you.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Have a good one.
We'll catch you later.
What's going on, guys? It's good to be back. It's good to be back. So I just kind of talked about the trade that I'm currently in. So we will check on that as the stream continues. Who knows? Maybe we can catch a win here on stream. Maybe not. For those of the people that are in my group, we're all in this together. Jake is the GOAT. I don't know about that. Maybe one day. What's going on, guys? By the way, I'm going to talk about some setups and some pairs and whatnot. But if you guys have other types of questions, right? Any questions about trading in general, be sure to let me know. On my Instagram, I did a Q&A the other day where I just let people ask any question, and I got some really, really good questions. And I feel like that always makes for good content because somebody asks a question and then, you think that may just help you, but there's like 20 or 30 other people in here that might have that same question. You're also in CAD CHF, down $36. Yeah, unfortunately, this one was a bit tricky for me. Like we talked about that, right? Like I feel like this was a really good setup. I feel like I got a decent entry. The one thing that I'll say is I do think I could have been a little bit more patient and gotten a better entry, right? Like right here, I entered right off the 0.5 rejection. If I would have waited for the 618, right? We had this swing high, we had the swing low. If I would have waited for the 618, we did tag that shortly after I entered, like a few hours after I entered. I maybe could have grabbed a better entry. And for the same risk to reward, I could have had a much safer stop loss, right? Maybe even a better risk to reward. So I think if there's one thing that I could have done better on this trade, it was get a better entry. But nonetheless, I still think where I entered made sense, right? Obviously, or else I wouldn't have entered there. And I still think this trade has a chance to play out now that we've been narrowly saved on this stop loss. So we'll see how this plays out. I do want to talk about some other pairs. We won't just have to stare at my trade the whole time. So let me know what you guys want me to check. GBP USD, gold. All right, we'll talk about all those things. So the dollar is actually getting some bearishness today, right? So let's start with the DXY because this is going to help us with all those USD-based pairs. All right, and the DXY is bearish, like bottom line. And I've been talking about this. I even posted this on my Instagram story, and I posted this in the Discord. And I've been looking at dollar bearishness. I just haven't gotten the setup yet to actually take any action on it, right? But basically what we had happen was, if we zoom out here to like the daily chart, we had this push up. We tapped into this kind of daily resistance right here, and then we had a massive rejection. As you can see, we're in a downtrend on the dollar, right? The dollar is in a downtrend. The dollar is weak. So right now, I think looking at dollar downside makes the most sense here, just looking at the technicals. Then what happened is we entered into a range, right? So we had a range. We had range highs. We had range lows. We pushed up to these highs. We broke back into the range, right? Then we had this little mid-range level that we were floating around at. Now we broke through the bottom of the range. So now what we actually have is a break and a retest of this range here on the DXY. So it'll be interesting to see, right? Do we deviate back up inside this range and push back up to these range highs? Or does the dollar actually make a push down for this lower demand that I think we could come and test, right? Because below this level, the DXY really doesn't have any significant demand until down here around like 101.500, I'd say is like the median of where I think the dollar could be heading to, right? So if the dollar gets this big push down, like I think it might, there should be some good selling opportunities on the dollar. So that leads us to these dollar cross pairs. You know, maybe even right now there's some good opportunities. If I wasn't already in a trade, then maybe I would be right. Maybe I would be looking to take an entry here. If the edge finder has a sell rating on technicals, it has a sell bias. I'll answer your question in a second, Christian. Hold one second. I do want to finish my analysis on the DXY. All right, so the DXY looking pretty bearish, and I do think we can get more downside, right? We have the right confirmations. If we even go ahead and look here at this lower time frame hourly kind of structure, from the swing highs to the swing lows, we got that 618 retrace, right? So the dollar is looking bearish. I do think that there could be more downside on the horizon. So let's look at some pairs now, like gold. So this is a pair that I've been waiting, or this is an asset that I've been waiting to get long on. I know Nick is in an amazing long right now, and he's comfy and he's loving life because he's in some amazing longs on gold right now. I unfortunately did not tag this entry down here, but I do think there could be another opportunity on gold. If we do get that push down into this area, right, I think gold could get another push to the upside there. We are in a very nice uptrend on the hourly, right? We have some nice clean levels here, making nice clean structure here on the hourly chart. If gold pushes down into this area where my alert is set, I may look at taking some longs there, right? And if we just go from the swing lows to the swing highs, we can see that's about the 382 level, which is kind of the first Fibonacci level that I really believe is valid for me to buy a pullback, right? If we're in an aggressive uptrend, I will buy off the 382 if there's a lot of other confluences on that area. Typically, I like to wait for the 0.5 or the 618, but in this case, we have some nice clean structure around the 382. So I think that would make sense on gold. So I have my alert set there on gold, and gonna keep an eye on that, right? So I think gold looks pretty bullish, especially based on this dollar bearishness as the dollar continues to push down, right? We'll keep an eye on gold. Let's talk about some of these other USD pairs now. I know a couple of you guys wanted me to look at GU. Let me read some of these questions first, though. In profit on CAD CHF, nice. All right, let me read your question, Christian. If Edgefinder has a sell rating, then on technicals it has a sell bias. However, RSI indicator is about to cross 50. Do you sell the pair or pure price action? I don't use the RSI, so that would not be a factor in my trading. So I can't really give you an answer as to what I would do there. Can you explain what the most important type of data is in fundamental? I mean, I think they're all important. And what's nice about the Edge Finder is that it does give it to you all right here in a pretty easy to digest way. Right? You don't need this. It just makes it easier. Like all things in life, once you start progressing at something like trading, you want to invest in tools that make your trading easier. You want to invest in tools that make things more convenient and more optimal. So you could go find the COT data on your own. It's all publicly released. So you can go find the COT data for free on your own. I believe you can go to, there's some free websites for retail sentiment, right? You can find all this stuff on your own. I would say it's very important to look at GDP. It's really important to look at inflation and interest rates. It's important to look at COT data. But the Edge Finder puts it all here for you in one place and updates it, frequently, and gives you the ability to kind of filter and look for the things that are the best. So I would say it's all important, and having all the pieces to the puzzle so you can see the full picture is the most important thing. One major problem with traders is understanding time frames. I think for sure, especially beginner traders. But let's take a look at GBP USD. Okay, so we're looking at GBP USD right now. We know that we have some dollar weakness. So I do believe GBP USD could get a move to the upside. The only thing is, I believe GBP USD was ranking as a sell, so it's moved up a little bit. Let's go ahead and put the neutrals back on and see where GBP USD currently ranks. Am I missing it? Am I staring? Okay, so GBP USD actually moved into a neutral category. So it's not getting a very bullish reading on the edge finder, but we did on the lower time frames kind of make this structure here. So, you know, could we get some sort of break and retest opportunity here on GBP USD? If we break this, retest into here, continue pushing up. I think it makes sense to be bullish on GBP USD because the dollar is weak and we're rejecting off of this area here. But I don't particularly love the idea of longing GBP USD. I would probably rather capture USD strength on something like gold or something that's been more bullish. Yeah, by the way, guys, if you do want to get the Edge Finder, I do have a coupon code for 20% off. A1 Trading was generous enough to make me an affiliate. And if you guys use the code Jake at checkout, you guys can save some good money there. AUDUSD. Yeah, we'll take a look at AUDUSD. So just to wrap up my thoughts on GBP USD, I think as long as the dollar remains weak, I think GBP USD could continue to move up. And I think that analysis is going to be very similar for something like AUDUSD and for some of the other dollar pairs. Right? So looking at AUDUSD, we do, in fact, have some nice clean bullish structure right here. We got this break. We got this retest, and now we're starting to get some bullish confirmation that tells us, you know what, maybe we do push to the upside here for the next wave of this impulse move. So anybody who bought off of this little level of demand right here is doing quite well right now. If you would have bought right into there, I believe, what is this, like the 382 level here? I think it retested the 382 perfectly. So if you would have bought right off the 382, you know, you could have had your stop loss down here below the 618, targeting the swing highs, maybe pushing up. You'd be pretty comfy right now. At this point, I think it's a little bit late to enter. You know, if you were to take an entry here, your risk to reward back up to these swing highs would not be that good, and you'd be at risk of getting stopped out on one little move down like this. So I think, you know, the opportunity is kind of passed on AUDUSD, right? You would have ideally wanted to be buying this as the DXY was kind of pushing up into this resistance. But nonetheless, though, right, if we do continue this bullish structure, especially on the lower time frames on AUDUSD, similarly to how I kind of just talked about on GBPUSD, right? If you get more higher high, higher low structure, could you continue just playing this strength? We are in an uptrend. You know, we're in an uptrend on the 30-minute, on the hourly, on the 4-hour. Just look to continue playing that bullish flow as long as the DXY remains weak, heading down towards this area of demand down here. I think there's a lot of room to go on some of these dollar cross pairs. So that's kind of how I would look to play that. Is like a little break and retest here on AUDUSD. You know, I think if you caught an entry down here, you're doing very nice. You know, you're chilling right now. I don't love the idea of taking an entry right now, though. I think it's a bit late. Yeah, it's also at the 38% level. Exactly. So you look on other pairs for buy or sell if the candles did not do any retest. For example, you're expecting it to retrace the 50% fib, however, it continues to rally higher. Then, yeah, I just won't take the entry, Christian. So that happens to me a lot, where it happened to me here on gold, right? Like I was waiting for this level on gold and it just never got there. And I'm not going to buy it off of a 236, right? Yes, we did get that 236 retest. You know, maybe sometimes that works, but the majority of the time, yeah, I'm going to have a better win rate when I buy off the 0.5 or the 0.618. So that's why most of the time I look for the 0.5 or the 0.618. Or somewhere in between that level, ideally, is like the golden zone, right? Somewhere in between the 0.5 and the 0.618. But if a trend is very, very, very aggressive, right? If the trend is very aggressive, then maybe I'll buy off the 382. But that's like the minimum, right? That's the minimum pullback that I look for if a trend is very aggressive. And if I don't get the pullback, then I just don't take the entry. So my CAD CHF position is going into a little profit here. Hopefully we can keep up that momentum. We'll check back on that again in a little while. Took a loss on AUDUSD because you weren't patient enough to wait for the 38%. Exactly. So that, you know, that's fine, Raphael. You just already know what you did wrong, and now you can work on that, right? So you learned a valuable lesson, And whatever your losses were on that trade is basically just a tuition payment to the market. Oil looks like it's rejecting at the 0.5. The market is not your friend. It can be, but I would say it's you have to have a healthy respect for the market, right? When do you break even a trade? Once I go like past 1-to-1, usually like maybe like 1.5-to-1 is when I'll move my stops to break even. It just depends on the trade, right? It depends on the trade and what I'm seeing in the market. All right, I'm trying to answer all these questions, guys. I want to make sure I'm doing a good balance of analysis as well as answering questions. All right, so we'll take a look at U.S. oil. Again, I get a lot of questions about U.S. oil, and I do not look at this asset often, and I don't trade this asset. So, you have to take that for what it's worth. But you said U.S. oil is... Where was the question? I just missed it. Oil looks like it's rejecting at the 0.5 level on the H1. Good short now. So I assume you're looking at from these highs to these lows. Yeah, this was a nice like 0.5 to 618 retest. Now we're kind of back inside this range. Could we make a run for these range lows? Definitely makes sense on oil. So we kind of deviated outside of this range. I have a great video on that, by the way, on my channel. It's called How to Trade Deviations. Basically, this is just a fake out or deviation from the range. You grab liquidity above the range. You move back inside the range. You stop out all the traders who took these the breakout trade. You retest the range highs, and then it can move down to the range lows. So that's like a pretty straightforward setup, in my opinion. Right? I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do, but that's kind of how I'm viewing it. The market can do anything at any time. Exactly. It really can. And, just when you think you have the market figured out is when the market will humble you. For example, last month, I went on like a 5-trade win streak, and then I went on like a 4-trade losing streak. So obviously at the peak of that win streak, I was feeling like, oh, I can't lose. This is going to be my best month ever. And then, the market humbled me towards the end of the month. I still managed to pull a profit out, but that's just how the market goes. Large concentration of orders sitting at the open price for gold. Yeah, I think gold is bullish. I think if gold pushes down into this level here, I'm going to be potentially a buyer. Took a loss trying to anticipate what the dollar was going to do instead of what the market was telling me. Well, there you go. You know what you did wrong. So you have something to go off of to improve your trading. So yeah, the dollar is just kind of consolidating here right now underneath this level. So it'll be interesting to see what the dollar does here. I'm going to keep an eye on my CAD CHF trade. I'm not going to enter any other positions. Also, something that I get asked a lot is like, will you enter another position while you have another position open? And generally, I just take one position at a time, right? Generally, I take one position at a time. In the past, I would open up numerous positions at the same time. I would have one go for me, one go against me. It was hard to manage multiple positions at the same time effectively. So traditionally, I'll just take one entry at a time. Since I'm not like a high time frame swing trader and I'm not holding trades for a long time, I can do that. I could just take one position at a time. So since I'm in a trade already, I'm not going to be taking any other trades. The market only ever humbles. NZD CAD, Swiss yen. Okay, we'll take a look at some of these other pairs. Let's take a look at NZD CAD because I believe that is ranking pretty highly on the Edge Finder. It's getting a +3. It's one of the higher buys on the market. There's really not a whole lot of like super strong buys on the Edge Finder right now, right? There's some stronger sells, some -6s here, but nothing above a 6. And for buys, nothing above a 5. But we'll take a look at Swiss yen and we'll take a look at NZD CAD. So I like to start on the super high time frames. I haven't looked at NZD CAD in a little while. So it looks like NZD CAD is kind of just in this, like, it's in a downtrend right now. And it looks like it's consolidating after this massive, massive move to the upside. Right, so we were trending to the upside here on NZD CAD, trending. We broke structure, and now we're in a corrective period of this trend. And the question is going to be, where on the daily chart, on the higher time frames, where do we put in like a significant level of support to build the next move to the upside? That's what I would kind of be looking for right now. And maybe it's here, right? Maybe this is where the higher time frame bottom is. And I think if we drop it down to the lower time frames, there was an opportunity here to buy off the 0.5 fib, which had some confluence with this level. So that was a good setup. I think if you're in that trade, you're looking pretty good right now, especially if you're like already stops to break even, or you've trailed stops a little bit. And we have some nice opportunities as well, I think, if we can get some break and retest price action. So if NZD CAD for me breaks above these highs here and gets a retest, then maybe I could be a buyer on NZD CAD. Right now, I don't think there's any opportunities, just because I think the move was already missed, right? The best entry point was to enter off the 0.5 fib, right? We measure swing lows to swing highs. You have the 0.5 fib. This is a pretty textbook entry on level of support. You could put your stop maybe, below the 618, a good healthy margin, targeting the top of this range. You get a nice risk to reward there. Entering now, there's nothing going on right now as far as risk to reward. There's no good entries right now. So I would say I would have to wait for a break of this structure right here. Based on that higher time frame corrective period that we're in, based on the lower time frame structure, right? This level should hold to push us up if it's going to remain bullish. So this should be the base that we're looking at to use our Fibonacci to measure the next move. So wherever this next move goes to, right? If we can break these highs, I'll use my fib to then wait for that same kind of pullback and then rinse and repeat, right? So that's kind of how I would look at NZD CAD. Can I read Ichimoku? No, I don't. I do not look at Ichimoku. I honestly don't even know how to look at that. I'm a very simple trader, guys. I have people ask me, like, do you know smart money concepts, or do you know this indicator or that indicator? And I really don't. I know my strategy, and I know the way that I look at the market. And I'm not saying that that's the best way. I'm not saying that there aren't other people who are more profitable than me, because I'm certain that there are. But that being said, I just focus on my strategy and I keep things simple. And by the way, guys, if you're watching on Trader Nick's channel, the show is not ending. It's just moving over to A1 Trading, which is their other YouTube channel in Nick's company. So go over to A1 Trading. The link is right there in the chat. I will be here live for another little while talking about the market. So go over to A1 Trading. The show's not ending. And by the way, guys, drop a like on the stream right now. Drop a like on the stream, whichever channel you're watching on. If you're enjoying this content and you want to see more of it, make sure you drop a like right now. US 30, bro, US 30. All right, we'll take a look at US 30. And I want to look at Swiss yen first. So we'll go Swiss yen and then we'll go US 30. Because Swiss yen is getting a +5 buy rating on the Edge Finder, right? So if we go ahead and take a look at it, perhaps we can find some sort of setup. So Swiss yen, like, I always like to zoom out when I haven't looked at an asset or traded an asset in a while. And what we can see on Swiss yen is we're clearly in an uptrend, right? And this is why sometimes, like, if you're too zoomed in, you can lose the forest through the trees, so to say. Like, if you're super zoomed in, you'd say, oh, Swiss yen is in a massive downtrend. I'm going to short this and short it and short it and short it. And while you may have been able to catch some nice shorts here, you do have to know when we've encountered some high time frame, right? Some high time frame levels that may reverse that price. So Swiss yen, we did dip into this higher time frame daily and weekly demand level. And now look at the weekly chart. It's looking like we're just going to start continuing to push up here in this uptrend. We have a very nice weekly rejection candle and some bullish follow through off of this level of demand, right? If we drop it down to the daily chart, you can see that we actually got a little break and retest right here, right? Broke, retest, made some bullish structure. And that was basically this, right? We broke, we retest, we made some bullish structure, and now we're just slowly consolidating or grinding up towards those highs there. So I think CHF yen is pretty bullish, but to be honest, I don't really love this price action because I'm not seeing any opportunities for like a clean break and retest. You know, maybe I would say if we broke and retest this, then we can get some sort of move to the upside. But in my opinion, it's too close to this next level of resistance right here. And this is too choppy for me to really be confident in a trade like that. So to be honest, I think CHF yen is one of those situations right now where even though I think it's bullish and it should continue to go up, I personally don't like any setups on Swiss yen. So, you know, this is a pair that I'll keep on the back burner. And maybe if we reclaim a high like this, like if we get above this level and we have cleaner structure, then I'll look to pursue an entry on Swiss yen. Right now, we're just kind of consolidating. You know, we have a little bit of like an ascending channel, and I'm probably just going to avoid this for now. I don't really love trading in consolidation. I love when it's clean impulses and corrections. Wait a minute, gold is at consolidation right now. I guess that's where I'm going wrong all the time, entering positions too early. I mean, yeah, let's take a look at gold, right? Like gold is in a consolidation right now. By all definitions of the term, we have range lows, we have range highs. You know, price has respected these lows and it's respected these highs. And whenever you have price respecting lows and highs, you get a consolidation, right? It's failing to go up, it's failing to go down. We're just consolidating. So there are strategies to play ranges, and one of them that I was talking about was that deviation strategy. I personally don't play ranges very often. There are traders who exclusively play ranges. They love ranges because they'll just sell off the range highs, right? And they'll take it to the range lows. They'll buy off the range lows. They'll take it to the range highs, and they just do that. But right now, if you're a trend trader and you're looking to buy pullbacks, you know, I don't think gold is in a good place for that right now. I think if you're a trend trader looking to buy pullbacks, the first area that you'd be interested in, at least the first area that I'm interested in, is this area right down here. Right? So yes, gold is in consolidation. And maybe if you're on the 5-minute time frame, it doesn't really look like that. But when you zoom out to the hourly, it's very clear. Too much stuff in your head or in your screen is always bad. Simple is better. Yeah, I agree, Emmanuel. I don't really use lots of indicators. The only indicator or tool that I use is the Fibonacci. And that's simply just to time my entries, right? I'm not like creating my bias. I'm not creating my bias around the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci is just a tool for me to time my entries in the right place. CAD CHF still doing okay for me here. So we'll just pop back in every once in a while and keep my eyes on that. Pound NZD, you're long or you're short. Okay. I was going to say, I believe pound NZD is one of the stronger sells. So let's talk about pound NZD because, oh, wait, no, sorry. I lied to you guys. I said I was going to do US 30 and then I didn't do US 30. Sorry. I don't want to, there's a lot of things flowing in the comments and I do my best to keep up with them, but I am also a London session trader, so you have to always understand that when I'm on these streams, I'm running a little bit low on sleep, which is fine, but we're going to power through it. So US 30, I really like US 30 structure right now. I mean, we had a range, right? We're bouncing in between these range highs and these range lows. We broke above this level with a nice impulse move. If you measure from the lows to the highs, that's like that 0.5 level as well. And that level was also in confluence with some nice support. So you got some initial really, really good opportunity off of this level. And, you know, you would have gone into some nice profit if you bought off the 0.5. Now it is coming back a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see what US 30 does here. I do think if we break through these lows, it's probably not good for US 30. Right? So you want these lows to be respected if you're a US 30 bull. And I would say if you get some sort of like respect of structure here and then you start to push up again, maybe you could take another punt on some longs. Like that would not be a bad idea. I don't know if I would try to catch the falling knife right here, but the risk to reward on an entry down here is pretty dang good. It's just right now we're rejecting and we're coming back down to this support level. So we have to see, how is US30 going to react on this support level? Will it hold or will it break? And I would say that is the level to look for right here on US30. So in order to maintain bullish structure, these lows need to be respected. So the closer we get down to these lows and respect them, and then there may be another opportunity then. Or if you're in an entry already, having your stop loss somewhere below this area as an area of invalidation makes sense. So if we do break those lows, you're stopped out. No big deal, move on, right? But this 4-hour candle, pretty ugly with a big rejection here, but we'll see how this plays out. I think there is an opportunity for this to continue pushing higher. It's just a matter of whether or not it wants to respect those lows and continue this push right now. But we'll go look at pound NZD now, because I do believe that's getting a pretty strong sell rating. Pound NZD is getting a -6 sell rating on the edge finder. So let's take a look at that. My chart's pretty busy here, so let's clear this out a little bit. Pound NZD, I haven't really loved the structure on pound NZD. It's very choppy. We're not getting a lot of really nice impulse moves. We're getting these choppy kind of moves, and I don't love it. So I have not been trading it because you're not getting these clean impulses and corrections. But the bigger picture on pound NZD is that we are bearish, right? Some of this stuff is old and it just didn't delete. We are bearish on pound NZD, right? We're maintaining this downwards channel. We're maintaining this downwards channel. The question is, right, where do you look to take sells? Because we have a -6 sell rating on the edge finder. So, my bias automatically is going to be short bias. The question is where do you look to take sells? I think the first area would be selling off of this area. If you got an entry up here, right, you probably could have gone into some nice profit, hit over a 2R on that entry. Now we're coming back up into this level. So I would probably just sit on my hands for pound NZD. I don't think there's any great entries right now. If we do some sort of like double top rejection here and we do something like that, then it would look a lot different. Now we've maintained a clean support or a clean resistance level. Now you can have a clear level of invalidation for a move to the downside. But until that happens, right, until you get a double top or some sort of confirmation there, I'd say probably just sit on my hands. The closer we get to these channel highs, I think the higher probability sells become, right? So if we move up into maybe some sort of supply level like this up here, if we shoot to the upside here, we move into this supply level, which is also at channel highs, I think the risk to reward and the probabilities for a move to the downside are greatly increased because we're close to these channel highs. We have some higher time frame supply up there, and we have that -6 edge finder reading. So I'd say pound NZD is bearish, but I'd be pretty cautious on it right now because I don't love the way this price action is moving. Have I done Euro JPY? I have not. So we will take a look at Euro JPY. You say people see what works best for you? Am I a swing trader or intraday? I'm mainly intraday. I mainly just take my trades within one daily candle. But every once in a while, I will hold my trades for longer. It just depends on the opportunity. But like if I'm in like 2R, 3R profits, I'll probably just take those profits because it works out for my probabilities and my win rate and my strategy. I know I can be profitable as long as I'm securing 2 to 3R. So if I get to that point within one daily candle, I'll probably just take my profits. But we'll go take a look at Euro JPY now. Let's see what we're getting on the edge finder reading for Euro JPY. Where's Euro JPY? Sometimes I just stare at things and I don't see them. Am I going crazy right now, guys? Or am I just staring at it? Okay, it's right here. +1. It's neutral. So slightly bullish reading on Euro JPY, but really pretty neutral. Only a +1. Not enough to be considered a buy rating on the edge finder. So right off that information there, it makes it less likely that I would take a trade on Euro JPY right now. I think overall, if you're talking about like high time frames, we're in an uptrend, right? We're in an uptrend right here, and it makes sense to kind of just respect this uptrend from a higher time frame perspective. But the thing is, when we drop it down to the daily chart, now we're in a downtrend. So we have to wait for a transition out of this downtrend into an uptrend. And then once we get that bullish price action to come back into the market, now you have high time frame and low time frame on the same page. So right now, the high time frame and the low time frame are not on the same page. And for that reason, and then plus the fact that the edge finder is neutral, I'd say for that reason, Euro JPY would definitely not be on my watch list as far as trades that I would look at. But I do see a clean range right here. We do have this level being like that previous lower high in the market. So if we could get a break and retest of this level, I think that an opportunity like that makes sense. But again, I don't think that this is like the best setup that I would look for. But if I had to make something happen on Euro JPY, this is what I would probably look at, right? I would look at these highs here. I would look to wait for an impulsive move above these highs, wait for that correction. And then we do have a pretty clean range. You know, even if we just target this first little level right here, how many pips is this? You know, we're looking at almost 300 pips to the upside there. So that is, if I had to make something happen, that's what I would look for on Euro JPY. What's my highest profit in a day? Definitely on some crypto bull run moves and meme coins and stuff like that. I've made like a insane amount of P&L on like meme coins and dumb things like that. I've made way more off of dumb meme coins and crypto than I have off of Forex. But with Forex, generally my profits in a day aren't massive because I'm using managed 1% risk, and I am securing profits in between 2 to 3 risks to reward generally. So I haven't had any like insane Forex trades. I mean, I've made like, you know, $1,000 on a trade before. On some, you know, on a really good Forex trade, but I don't think I've ever gone really too much higher than that. On crypto, I've definitely made more than that. But I think with crypto, it really just depends on the conditions, right? Like with crypto, it's one of those things where when it's a bull run, you can kind of, yeah, I hesitate to say this, but you can kind of break some of your risk management rules. Like you have to understand when is the time to put your foot on the gas and when is your time to put your foot on the brakes. And with crypto, when it's in a bull run, people make generational wealth in those runs because, you know, assets can move 300-400% in a day on some of these coins. So, you know, every once in a while, you know what, let me put $500 on this coin. And if I lose it all, I lose it all. If if it hits, I'm going to make a lot more. So obviously my risk management and like the way that I look at trading in a crypto bull run is a little bit different than, trading Forex. And of course, when crypto's in a bear market, those opportunities just aren't there. So it's not very repeatable. Give us a number. No, I'm not going to do that. Let's just say, though, that crypto, when it's in a bull market, there are opportunities to make really good money. But you have to understand when it's time to take profits, and you have to understand when it's in a bear market that you need to like know when to put your foot on the brake, you know? When the daily and the 1 hour are not aligning, does this indicate a ranging market? Not necessarily. Like you can be in a lower time frame downtrend. For example, right? Like Euro JPY is in a 4 hour downtrend. On the 4 hour, look, we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. We did briefly make a lower high, but this was kind of a fake out. Then lower low, lower high, lower low. Now the question is, do we make a higher high here, right? So we're trending down on Euro JPY on the 4 hour. However, if we drop it down to like the 30-minute, we're in a pretty nice uptrend. So this is not a consolidating market. It's just that the time frames aren't on the same page, right? We're in one of these corrective periods of this downtrend. And then if we go all the way up to the higher time frames, you know, we're in an uptrend on the higher time frames. So if we drop this down to the 4 hour, I think the question is on Euro JPY, can we make a higher high in the market, or are we going to respect this lower high and continue to push down in this downtrend? So that's why I would say this is the key area to look at. And just because the time frames aren't talking to each other doesn't mean that it's consolidating. It just means that they're not talking to each other. CAD Swiss getting a nice move here. I can't believe how close I was to getting stopped out on this trade. So for those of you who just kind of joined and you didn't get my earlier analysis on like why I'm in this trade and my entry and everything about this trade, I'll briefly. He made $1 trillion to the guy. Yeah, exactly. Guys, I made $1 trillion and I just do this for fun. And the reason that I'm not on an island somewhere is because I just I love trading so much that I don't want to be on my private island, you know? I'd rather be here with you guys. But I'll give you guys kind of the reason why I'm in this trade. This is the position that I'm in right now. So basically, when we go look at the edge finder, right, this is kind of the first stop that I go to. You know, the first thing that I would do is I move my, I take off all the neutrals, and then I'm just looking at the strong trends in the market. I identified that CAD CHF has a -4 sell rating, right? And then when we investigate a little bit deeper into this, when we investigate a little bit deeper into CAD CHF, we can see that retail is currently 95% long and only 5% short. Well, we know generally retail is on the wrong side of these moves. So I like going against retail, especially when they're very, very, very heavily sentiment-wise on one side of a position, right? Also, institutions are favoring the Swiss franc over the Canadian dollar right now, 41% longs, 32% longs on the CAD. So institutions are favoring the Swiss, a strong Swiss. Retail's on the wrong side of this move, right? We also have all these other categories here. We have seasonality. We have a few of these other categories giving us a total of a -4 sell rating. So that is why I am bearish on CAD CHF. Now let's go take a look at the technicals, right? Why did I decide to sell here? So what we actually had, and you can't really see it on the daily, but on the 4-hour, we kind of tapped into this little 4-hour and hourly resistance up here, and we got this long rejection wick right here. We could see it very clearly on the 4-hour. We got this long rejection wick, right? And then I dropped it to the hourly, and I said, you know what? We're in a little bit of an uptrend. We got this long rejection wick right here. That shows me, you know what? Buyers have stepped out. Sellers have stepped in. Could we start to see a transition of momentum? So I had this trend line that kind of gave me that point where it's like, all right, this is where momentum transitions. We broke through that trend line. We got the retest into this area, and then I sold basically off of the 50% Fibonacci on this area, right? So if we take the fibs from the highs to the lows, we can see that, right, we basically moved up here. We retested the 50% area. We got some rejections, and that's when I took my sell entry right there. I ended up kind of getting caught in some consolidation and in some drawdown. Literally came all the way up, and sometimes trades just work out like this, guys. But I almost got stopped out here by like 2.1 pips. So luckily my spreads on my broker are pretty good. Stayed in this trade. And now we're back into profit. So sometimes that's just how it goes. And even though I'm in profit now, if I had to say one thing that I could have done better on this trade is if we go back in here and zoom in on the fibs, we could see that my entry was like in between the 382 and the 0.5. Like it wasn't a perfect entry, right? I could have definitely been a little bit more patient, and I think I could have gotten an entry somewhere in here in between the 0.5 and the 618, and I'd be a lot comfier right now on this position. So that is why, that's kind of the full breakdown of why I'm in this trade and what I'm looking at on this trade. And I may still lose this trade. I don't really know, but this is where it stands right now. So all those factors combined, all those confluences, that was the entire breakdown of why I'm in that trade. Euro USD, AUDUSD. Where can I find my course? I don't have a course, but you can check out my YouTube channel, Emmanuel, and a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff on there. You know, I may work on a course, but right now my main focus, and I am beginning the work of a course, but the main focus that I have right now is just providing free content on YouTube. Oil trade up 10% from when you took it just now. Maybe it has some legs. Very nice. For the retest candle, do you buy, sell on the close of the candle? I usually just try to buy or sell like into the fib area, you know, into the 0.5 or the 618, ideally. In my opinion, the best entries are when you can, I think this may even be an example right here. This is literally a perfect example, just happened to be here, right? The best entries, in my opinion, are when you can buy somewhere in between the 0.5 and the 618. Like this area right here is AKA the golden zone, because when you're in a strong trend, this area has a high probability of being a good entry point for the next move up. Also, if you are right and you entered from that position at that point, your risk to reward is most likely going to be good. So to me, the best entries are in between the 0.5 and the 0.618, and then stop loss somewhere either just below the 786 or down here. No, if you have some structure to the left-hand side, you can use that, right? But somewhere, you know, well below the 618. That way, like if you get that full 618 correction, you can still stay in that trade. You won't get stopped out. And then you target the previous swing highs, and your risk to reward can be really good. Even if we had a conservative stop loss all the way down here below the 786 and below this level, if you got a good entry there, if you just entered right into this level, you know, you'd have some really nice risk to reward on that move up. At the peak, you would have hit even still at 1.6, right, without even revisiting these highs. So that's kind of like my ideal entry, is somewhere in between the 0.5 and the 0.618. And I see that, Angelo, you just joined as a member, so welcome to A1 Trading, and I'm sure Nick and the A1 team appreciates your YouTube membership. Welcome. So thank you, Angelo. GG's. Thank you, W's to anybody who becomes members. It definitely supports these streams, and I know the A1 Trading team and Nick work really hard on putting these streams together and having really good guests. So anytime you guys support like that, you know, it makes the show go on. As long as I'm in the zone, as long as you're in the zone, you could buy / sell. Yeah, that's typically what I do. And, you know, you could wait for confirmations. So, for example, if we're using this exact same thing, you could enter on a bullish engulfing confirmation like this. You know, you could wait. You could either enter right into the zone to try to get the best entry, or you can wait for the confirmation, and then you could put your stop loss right below that support, and then you can do it like that. The only downside of this strategy, right, is if you do get a retest of these lows, you know, you could get stopped out. It's easier to get stopped out. But if you entered straight into this area, right, with the same stop loss, right, we're not changing the stop loss, but if you entered right into this area, you'd have a much bigger stop loss. And then if your trade is right and you go into a little profit at this point, then, all right, I'm in profit. Now I can reduce my risk like 50% or something like that. So you just, getting a better entry is nice. Sometimes you just have to decide like what is best for you. Do you want to wait for confirmations, or do you want to just enter right into the area? You love A1 trading. Guys are great, and this is what you need to become profitable. You've lost 10K plus, but since joining A1, you've been profitable and no major losses. Let's go. W's for Angelo. Love to see that. And, you know, I love that feedback. Of course, I'm not the only one here making this happen. I just, you know, I'm here Tuesdays, but, you know, that's awesome to hear that you literally were not profitable and you started watching A1 trading and now you're profitable. So that's literally insane. And that just goes to show that, you know, the information is available for free, guys. These streams are free. Of course, the support is very much appreciated, but these streams are free. And tuning into these streams and just, you know, learning the principles of how to be a disciplined and realistic trader. At the very least, I would say it can help mitigate losses and help you learn to finally become profitable. You know, I've had a lot of people on my channel give me support, like saying, you know what, I'm not profitable yet, but I'm way, you know, I've learned how to manage my risk and I'm at least break even, or I'm losing way less because I started trading with discipline and I've started trading my strategy, not over trading, like just eliminating some of these small mistakes. It's like, you know what, maybe you're not profitable, But if you're losing lots and lots of money, it could, at the very least, right, help you build the foundation for where you can improve from. So yeah, I'm in this CAD CHF trade. Hopefully, you know, if we break these lows right here at this point, I'll probably just move stops to break even, because this was such a kind of a stressful trade, not gonna lie, and almost getting stopped out. Like if we do go over 1-to-1 in profit and break these lows, I'll probably just manage my risk and go stop break even. But we'll see. We're looking okay right now. We're doing okay right now. We're in some profits. We're breaking these lows right here. So CAD CHF, I got saved a little bit on this one, not gonna lie. You learned the risk management with A1 trading and Jake. Let's go, Christian. Yeah, I think, and this is kind of what I'll wrap up on, guys. And if you haven't dropped a like, by the way, drop a like on the stream right now. Subscribe to A1 Trading. I'm here every Tuesday, and Nick is live every single day with another amazing guest. And just to kind of wrap up, I think the number one thing that traders can improve on immediately, like if you're a struggling trader right now, and maybe you're just started, and maybe it's going to be a little while before you lock in your strategy, and you're not really understanding how to read the market yet, and you're having problems. One thing that you can do right now, immediately, tomorrow, today, right, that will immediately make you a better trader, is just being more disciplined and using risk management. Like, limit yourself to 1% risk per day, and limit yourself to like 1 trade per day at the max, and never break that, right? At the very least, it will limit your downside. So you won't have these massive drawdowns. You won't blow accounts, right? And that instantly already makes you a better trader than like a lot of traders in the market. So, and that requires no skills, that requires no experience, that just requires you being disciplined and sticking to a risk management system. And every single trader can do that right now. But all right, guys, I'm going to wrap up on that. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. If you want to check out my channel, my name is Trader Jake. I know the link has been dropped in here a few times. I appreciate all the feedback. I love coming on to hang out with you guys and share my analysis. If you do want the Edge Finder, guys, I know we talk about the Edge Finder a lot. Obviously, this is A1 Trading Stream, and this is their software product. It is an amazing product. I highly recommend it. I use it in my own trading. And if you guys want to grab the Edge Finder for yourself, if you want to make that investment into your trading, right? It's not cheap, but it is an investment into your trading that will optimize your trading. And you can save 20% by using my code Jake, J-A-K-E, at checkout. That supports me, and it would be greatly appreciated as well from my end. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be here next Tuesday. Nick will be live again tomorrow with another amazing guest. With that being said, everybody take care, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember to check the description below if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a trading community to join. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.